Imagine you're walking into a doctor's office, and before you can even point to where it hurts, they just start writing out a prescription.
Right. I mean, that would be completely ridiculous.
It is. You can't prescribe a treatment without a diagnosis.
Yeah.
But, when it comes to our own lives and everyday problems, we do this all the time.
Oh, absolutely. We jump straight to a solution.
Exactly. We don't even understand what the actual problem is yet. So, welcome to this deep dive into the surprising psychology of problem solving. Today, we're taking our source materials and going on a mission to unlearn that instinct to just react.
And we're going to explore the rather uncomfortable idea that you are often the root of your own problems.
Yeah, which is a tough pill to swallow for any of us.
It is, but that discomfort is actually the first step. Because to stop jumping to conclusions, we have to realize that true problem solving starts way before a specific issue even crosses your desk.
Right. It starts with your own internal baseline. The sources actually compare this to a multiplication table.
Yes, I love that analogy. Like, if you don't know basic math, you obviously can't do algebra.
Right.
So the math of problem solving requires these three internal pillars. You have to understand yourself, you have to manage your emotions, and you need a baseline of self-confidence.
But the source defines that self-confidence as a deep inner peace, right? Not just
Right.
having a big ego.
Exactly. Because without that inner peace, your ego feels threatened by every new problem. So you rush to solve it just to, relieve your own anxiety.
You end up diagnosing the situation before you've gathered any objective information at all.
Which brings us to that really jarring anecdote from the material, where trainees are asked what to do if a wife's teeth are knocked out by her husband.
Okay, yes, I wanted to bring this up because naturally their immediate reflex, and mine too, is to say, call the authorities. It's a clear-cut emergency.
Right, of course.
But then the instructor reveals the missing information, which is that the wife had spent the entire day spitting in her husband's face. Now, I mean, the whiplash I felt reading that was real.
Oh, I'm sure. It's designed to be.
It's just such an extreme, loaded scenario. I guess I have to ask, is it even helpful for the source to use a domestic violence example to teach us about, everyday office problem solving? Doesn't that risk blaming the victim?
Well, the source uses that shock value very intentionally, and it's not about taking sides or endorsing that behavior at all. It's purely to prove a mechanical point. When a scenario triggers immediate outrage, your brain just floods with emotion.
And that's when we completely skip the information gathering phase.
Precisely. If you lack context, a situation that looks like a one-sided attack might actually be this really toxic two-sided dynamic.
Right.
Your emotionally driven diagnosis is almost guaranteed to be wrong.
Wow, okay. So the outrage itself is literally what blinds us. If we let anger take the wheel, we physically cannot gather objective information.
Which leads to another tough takeaway. You're always responsible for your anger. Always. If a colleague insults you, they're just sending a signal. They don't, force the anger into your brain. You choose how to receive that signal, what to hear, and ultimately what to feel.
The source has a great analogy for this. It says, getting mad at someone for an insult is like getting mad at the rain for making you wet when you chose to walk outside without an umbrella.
Exactly. The rain is just doing what rain does.
Right.
Our emotional response isn't just one automatic reflex. The material actually breaks it down into stages. And the most critical one is the appraisal stage.
The appraisal stage, so like evaluating the threat.
Exactly. When that insult hits, you have this split-second window where your brain appraises the threat level. Usually we appraise it as a personal attack, which triggers defensive anger.
But we can intercept that, right? We can make what the source calls a positive appraisal.
Yes. Instead of evaluating the insult as an attack, you appraise it as a test. In that split second, you tell your brain, hey, this is an opportunity to showcase my professionalism.
You win by mastering your reaction, not by shouting back. And if we do that, if we fully control our reactions, then difficult people, they stop being roadblocks.
They actually become essential tools. The source argues that surrounding yourself only with nice people is a mistake. Your emotional management skills will just atrophy.
So you need difficult people to stress test your internal systems.
Right, it's like writing new software. You don't just hope it works. You intentionally run programs to try and crash it, so you find the bugs before the whole network goes down.
That's fascinating. So annoying colleagues or rude strangers are essentially just free emotional sparring partners. They give you a chance to practice that positive appraisal.
Exactly. Because true problem solving is largely about managing your internal state rather than trying to fix the external world.
Right, because sometimes you can't solve the problem.
Yeah, you just find a way to coexist with it. The source compares it to losing a limb. Crying over the loss doesn't bring it back. You get a prosthetic and learn a new way to navigate the world.
Though, to bring it back to a daily context, maybe it's less about a lost limb and more about, I don't know, a permanently broken office printer.
Yeah, perfect example.
You can stand there kicking it every day, getting furious, or you can accept its limitations and just route your documents to the second floor. You stop prescribing a fix for a reality that just won't change.
You accept the baseline reality and focus entirely on your own response.
I love that. And that brings us to a really compelling question for you to mull over today as we wrap up this deep dive.
Something to really think about.
Yeah. If you are truly the sole architect of your emotional responses, what long-standing problem in your life would instantly vanish if you simply chose to appraise it differently today?